Today is April 7th, a series sweep in Boston. Reynolds is on fire, Bay with an impressive catch, Keller's dominance. Today is the home opener. Baseball back in the Berg. It's the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Let's go! Yins, guys. Thank you for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast, where we talk all about them Pittsburgh Pirates and that. My name is Josh, and I'm joined as always by my brother Jake. What's up?
What's going on, man?
It is the home opener today.
Let's go.
Good.
No, literally, let's go.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go.
Let's go to the game.
We're gonna go to the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this on Friday morning, getting ready for the home opener, then you are just as excited as we are, because it's today. And if you're listening to this over the weekend, well, you know how excited we were. So we have a fun show, because not only is it the home opener, but the Pirates just swept the Red Sox in Boston.
Yeah. Apparently they found their wooden leg.
They did find their wooden leg. That was good. You brought that back. I love it. That's good. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to break down the series a little bit. Let's talk about the games that happened, all of the performances, the things that happened like that. I know we're going to break a couple of people down specifically, maybe 3, maybe 4, I don't know. And then we're going to get into home opener stuff, but we do want to cover the series that was, we don't want to miss covering a series sweep.
Right.
The second series of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, let's keep it positive this week, but I am going to say, we don't know when the next one will be. So let's enjoy it. But
Yep.
at the same time, let's keep it positive. This is a positive show today. We're going to be very positive about everything. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's try not to poo-poo on anything.
No poo-pooing. Got it.
Noted. We're not going to poo-poo on things today. We've reached our maximum level of poo-poo comments today. So, good for that. Monday, 7-6 victory. Tuesday and Wednesday, 4-1 victories. And man, what we got to see in the 2 4-1 victories, really, in my opinion, was Contreras and Keller being what we want Contreras and Keller to be.
Yeah.
Both very sharp. And we'll get into Keller. Monday was a bit of a different thing. 2 homers for Brian Reynolds. And I'm clicking on the Pirates here because we also had the double off the wall from Smith and Jigba. We had the delay home run. What else was it there? The O'Neal Cruz what did Cruz hit? The ball down the line off the shifted guy. The ball down the line for a double. But then it was just 9 hits, 7 runs, 10 guys left on base. We kind of said that, there was a lot more than that before. You're talking about, really the whole series was good with guys left on base. I don't know what you're looking for. Well, never mind. Today was really 22 guys left on base today.
Jeez.
So still an issue. Well, we had the bases loaded for, 3 straight guys, it felt like.
Yeah.
Ish, you know what I mean? And so, well, it was mostly, what was it? Castro Bay there at the one point with Castro Bay, and you got your 2 second basemen, quote unquote, and you're like, ugh, that's where we fell short, the second base position again. Which was not all bad this series. when you're looking at the two, I mean, at some point in this season, somebody's going to say you get the at bats, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly not now. We are 6 games
No.
in. There's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of sharing at bats, and that includes Smith and Jigba, Sawinski, Connor Joe, Bay, Castro. They're all going to share at bats. Really, Choi
Yeah, I was gonna say
feels like he's going to be in that group.
yeah.
But I don't ever look at that, and maybe it's just me, but like the magic number for me is about 40 games in. You get about 40 games in, you kind of got an idea how guys are looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But really it's not. And I've heard other people use that same number. I didn't come up with that on my own. You know what I mean? Like that's a good number
Yeah.
that I've heard a lot of people use. About 40 games in, you kind of get an idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
But anyway, Oviedo, I think it was Monday and Tuesday, Moretta came in to bail out the starter. Am I right?
I think so.
I think both times it was him coming in. I'm looking at today's game now. I just want to say, did I talk about this on Monday about how I don't like the way MLB is doing their box scores now? I know you and I talked about this, but if you guys like to look at box scores day of, like they're giving me this little sliver. And it used to be you had the wrap and then you could click on box and get both teams straight down. Now it's like you got to click on box and then you got to click on the team. And then if you're not on the team, you have to scroll all the way up to click on the other team. And it's like, dude, just put it on the screen.
It's like they're making everything for mobile and they're not adjusting it for
Yeah,
computer.
I bet if it was mobile, well, still you'd have to pick one team or the other. I should be able to see it all.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my little. So Moretta came in, yes, and he threw a full inning, but that's because they took him out before he finished the inning. So he actually finished the 6th for Contreras and then got the first 2 outs and then they brought in Hernandez to finish the 7th. And he did pitch that out to get Oviedo out of his.
Which kudos to Oviedo. I am actually impressed with his outing just because he was able to settle in and get us through 4 2/3. Like that was a rough first inning.
Yeah, all the runs were in the first inning off of Oviedo,
Yeah.
and it was very rough. And I remember sending out the tweet. At that time, I said, now you have 4 innings to make us talk about the next 4 innings instead of the first. And he almost got through it.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that you sent out the kudos because it was my intention to, if he finished those 4 innings, it was my intention to say, at this point, I'm done with the first inning. I'm really impressed with the next 4. Had he finished that inning, it would have been a highlight for me. Because he didn't, and Moretta came out. I just didn't make it like a highlighted point. You know what I mean? But I'm glad that you still brought it up because it does still. He grinded. He fought. It was that whole game was about fighting in a way. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to think of the other part of that too. Where I was going down that path about somebody kind of grinding and fighting their way through something, but I don't know. Maybe just the team in general, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to keep coming back and you get your 3. Last year, if we get 3 in the first inning and we're high and Boston comes out and get 5, we lose that game 9-3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they kept putting on. 1 in the second, 1 in the third. Do my math here. 3, 2 more in the fourth. And then sure we went blank after that, but not all for we did good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
We stayed in it. You get Bednar coming in to get the save at the end there. Couple strikeouts. He got the save Monday and Tuesday. So not available on Wednesday. Underwood came in and got the save.
Yeah, which is interesting that we had a scenario where Holderman and Bednar are both unavailable on the same day.
Did they call them both unavailable?
I believe so.
I mean,
Yeah,
they both pitched
they
the.
both.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep. So I mean, it makes sense that they were both unavailable, but at the same time, it's like, and
yeah,
you can't just worry about that either. You got to get the outs when you need the outs. You
right.
got to use the pitcher when you need the pitcher.
Well, especially, I mean, here we are. I mean, especially a team that most everybody projects to be somewhere between 70 and 78 wins. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you're not a contender here. We can't think about saving you for another win. We need to get the
Right.
wins that we can get. And
Especially coming, you get the first game, and then you have a chance to get the second game to win the series.
yeah, it's big.
And then we just do what you do in the last game. Either way, you've won the series.
Right. Win series. That's
Yeah.
the big thing. And you know what? I've seen a couple people talk about this, and I think I'm there too. It almost looks like, and it's still early, but it almost looks like Derek Shelton is managing to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Are we seeing something different from him when it comes to the full game, right? It looks a little different. And I think there might be some legitimate to it. Once again, let's go 40 games. Let's see what it looks like
Yeah.
after 40. But
I think he's adjusting his lineups a little bit more than he used to as well. You know, I mean, it's been noted. I think we said this last week that he puts out his, he makes his lineups out for the next couple of weeks. But
well, they get an idea, but there's still pitching matchups that they'll use. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, I don't
yeah,
think the intention was for, I mean, maybe it was, but I don't think the intention was for Jack Sawinski to play one game in the opening series. But you went up against a tough lefty and a guy who's better against lefties. And yeah, that's how it happens.
yeah,
If you just draw it up, you say, yeah, he's going to get to play. You know what I mean? He's going to share his at-bats, but he's not going to just play a little bit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He's earned playing time.
yeah.
From I mean, you had 19 home runs. You've earned you've earned a shot.
Right.
And we talked about that. And he'll continue to. I did see a couple good at bats from him. He's not chasing a ton from what I'm seeing, from what I remember. I didn't look up the numbers, but he's not chasing a ton. And he's still swinging and missing on pitches over the plate. That's the thing that he has to work on, but I think his approach in general is better.
Yeah, I agree with
To
that.
me, that comes. You know what I mean? I think all you have to do is get him at home, right? That's all we got to do. Let's let him pitch it, or let's let him hit at home, and he's fine. But let's just sit him on the road from now on. No, I'm just kidding, obviously. But I thought I saw some. I'm definitely seeing already some guys kind of get loose. You know what I mean? Santana's starting to. We've talked about that. He's starting to look better at the plate. Like he's starting to get his wheels. He actually says he's not quite there yet.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more to get better there. Hayes is, I mean, one day you texted me and you were like, what's the deal? He worked on all this pulling the ball and he's not pulling it. And I showed you the graph of all the pitches that he's seen in the game, and nothing was closer than the middle of the plate. Everything is away. And so there's a little bit of that. He's still going to go the opposite field because he's going to go with the pitch. They start missing inside. That's what we hope to see, is that he's able to, if they miss inside, he's able to hit it. And that's what we're hoping happens. And so give him time, guys. Jason Delay's on fire. But we're still waiting for some of these guys. And I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to get through here. Contreras, what do you got on Contreras? Just anything? Like, what did you see? I mean, 3 hits, almost got through that 6th inning. This was his first start. Seemed like that was the trend for everybody in their first start, was I just can't finish my last inning.
Yeah. Yeah. It's overall, I mean, I thought he looked good. His pitches looked good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many? He only walked 1 guy, only struck out 2, but really don't care. Like, you're effective and you're getting outs.
You know, it's kind of interesting. He hasn't really been a big time strikeout guy so far. I don't know if that's something that's still to come, or if we find out, no, he's more like a Jamison Tyone. You know what I mean?
How many pitches did he throw?
78.
78 pitches. So that's not, yeah.
And I think they'll be a little easy on him still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know why, but
Well,
I just
they asked Contreras about like the WBC and everything, and was it weird because he actually stayed in Florida during the Cincinnati series and threw a game in Florida during the Cincinnati series,
okay.
and he said
Missed that.
WBC set me back a little bit, but we're getting there.
Yeah, because he didn't get to throw as
So
much as he would have liked to.
right,
Yeah. And I think that's why, and there was people that said that, but that's why that's why he didn't pitch in Cincinnati.
yeah,
That they were trying to get that and move. I mean, ideally, like I said, what order you are in the rotation, other than number one on the first day of the year, none of the rest of it matters.
yeah,
I still would have liked to have seen Rich Hill pitch against Boston. Apparently, it worked out that he didn't. So a lot of lefties there, but it really didn't matter. And I was surprised coming off of a series where they scored 9 runs a game. It's one of those baseball, what do you call them? Baseball axioms, right? We wasted all our runs on the first series and didn't have enough for the second. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
the 2 games that if they'd have just scored their 6 runs in one of the second 2 games, they would have taken one of these games. Instead, they scored their 6 when we scored 7. So,
yeah,
and it's good for us that we didn't waste our 7 on one of these 1-run games, and we were able to, you know what I'm saying? You know how they go. You've all said it. I don't want to waste all my hits in this game. We're up by 10. You know what I mean? Let's save them for the next one.
yeah,
But either way, I mean, dude, there's nothing to be real upset about when your team gets 3 dubs. Whatever you did that wasn't great, who cares?
yeah,
As a play, especially as a player, you just move on. Everything
yeah.
that you do is, what will I do from here? And for a fan, there's a little bit of like, no, we're going to sulk in this a little bit. We're going to enjoy this. I don't care because we're about to go on a run against the White Sox, the Astros, and the Cardinals. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's enjoy this because I'm not sure what's about to happen. We got Giolito going tonight. Today, not tonight. And that's kind of weird.
Right.
We're recording this late Wednesday night. Matter of fact, it just flipped over to Thursday. So, but we're gonna try to talk like it's Friday already. But anyway, I mean, just a lot of good feelings. Jose Hernandez looked good. Holderman and Bednar at the back end are looking real strong. Tuesday night though, Holderman's in there in the 8th inning. He gets Devers to chase, but Devers doesn't really miss.
Yeah.
He hit it good. And Bay's going back, and for what it's worth, we have to call it how it is. He kind of goes this way, he kind of goes that way, and then he finds the ball. And when he finds the ball, man, athleticism takes over. And he made an unbelievable catch. I think maybe the fact that he kind of did that little zigzag roundabout circle towards the ball made it all that more unbelievable. He was not in position to jump that high.
No.
I don't know how he did it. The guy is like, there's some athleticism in G1 Bay that we saw it on opening day, right? The stolen bases, the way that he took over and really impacted that game on the base paths. And I don't know if I want to go too far into this, but like, he hasn't been on the base path since. He hit the 1 home run, his first career home run, by the way. Got to. Love the first career home run.
Over the monster.
Oppo over the monster just for the story of it. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But still waiting for the complete thing, right?
Yeah.
We're still waiting for it. Like, it's been a lot of chases. I don't know. He didn't. I think we said he didn't chase today, but he also did not see any high pitches.
Yeah.
But his chase rate's over 40%. It's got to be under that now because that was going in today, right? So, but a 40% chase rate for a guy who's a bat to ball guy, a lot of swing and miss, swinging out of his shoes. And I really just want you to get on base. I don't want you chasing. Get walked. Because when you get on base, you wreak havoc.
Mhm.
And the routes in the outfield, like I said this on Twitter, like I told you I didn't like his routes. I was an outfielder. I'm watching him after balls and I'm like, it's not there. And that's something that if he plays there, it'll get there. But when I said he made up for it with speed. When he can do that, when that kind of a catch is on the table, sure, the routes might not be bad, but like he's fine. If he
Yeah.
needs to give me 3 innings at the end of the game out there, like I'm not worried about it.
Right.
He's definitely not to the place where I'm worried. I don't think he's a great center fielder. I'm just not worried about him when he's out there.
Right.
It's not like watching Cole Tucker out there. But some of the things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just not that. It's not Gregory Polanco in right field, who was decent for a while, but then every once in a while, man, he's just lost. It's not that. He's capable of playing the position because of his athleticism.
For sure.
What else do we got? I mean, that's really it. Now let's get into Mitch Keller. Actually, before we do that, a little base running. The pickle, I think this is important to know because when we talked before we hit record here, I said, yeah, McCutchen kind of made a blunder on the bases. And you corrected me. I didn't see this.
Yeah, I mean, the blunder isn't on a specific person. I don't think. I think McCutchen had one thing in his head, and I think Reynolds had another thing in his head. But when McCutchen was standing on third and Reynolds was like coming back to third and he was looking at him, McCutchen's waving him, saying, "Come on, come on, come on, come back to third." Santana's not the fleetest of feet, right? And we were just McCutchen was just trying to make sure there was plenty of time for Santana to get to second. So he was trying to get Reynolds to come back, stand on third, and then McCutchen was going to take off. So they were going to have to try to tag McCutchen, and Santana would have plenty of time. Reynolds would be on third, and McCutchen would be the one that got out. Well, then Reynolds did the little turnaround right before he got to third and ran right into the tag, and McCutchen took off and was like, "Oh, geez."
Yeah.
I think it's just something you don't really practice.
Right. And I think maybe the only thing I could think of is, hey, let's not improvise something like that on the last minute. Let's just do it. Let's leave Santana at first. Let's let Reynolds be out.
Oh, no. Santana has to be on second. That's not an improv. That's 100% he's got to get to second.
Yeah, but if he's not going to get there, he's not going to get there. Let's not get into a double play.
No, yeah, but in a normal situation, Kutch stays on third, Santana gets to second, Reynolds stays in a pickle long enough for Santana to get to second.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't going to happen. So Kutch tried to improvise and tried to create something that wasn't there. At some point, you cut your losses and keep the inning going is what I'm saying. Yes, in a perfect world, Santana would have been rounding first and would have got to second. But because they played it well and chased him down, they won in that play. Kutch needed to stand on third and only get one out. That's all I'm saying. Like, to try to create sometimes when you try to create something spectacular, you end up, like, it's a big risk. You end up with the outcome being worse. It's a big risk, you know what I mean, for what kind of reward, you know what I mean? And I think in that case, Kutch is trying to get creative. And unless you've practiced something like that, like creativity, that might not be the situation for creativity.
Right.
That's all I'm saying is if Santana is not going to get there, then I don't know what you do.
Even if Reynolds would have, even if they both would have stayed on third, I think Santana could have been able to get there.
Well, that's a different story. If you think that, then I mean, I never saw that, but that's not what happened, right? Kutch tried to get creative. Right. And I think that's the piece where I would say, maybe just don't get creative there. It's up to Santana to get to second.
Yeah.
And Reynolds is going to stay in there as long as he can. If Santana gets thrown out, let Santana get thrown out. For me, I'd have been like, my job is just to get to third and be at third.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who, I always forget who gets tagged first, who's actually out, who's actually safe. I think if Reynolds gets back to the base, it's his base, so technically Kutch would have been out anyway.
Yeah.
But either way, you only have one person out.
Right.
So
Well, the whole rule of thumb is just stay there until the umpire tells you you need to get off the field. Just so
Yeah,
that like both of you just stand there and make the umpire point at you and tell
that's
you
right.
which one's out.
Yeah. Okay, so the other one was Cruz taking third on that play where he got kicked in the face, essentially. And hopefully he's okay.
Yeah.
I really loved that play. And at first, I'm not sure how you felt about it. And I don't know where you're at now.
I just thought it was risky because like there was nobody covering, but he wasn't that far away, and it was risky. You knew there was gonna be a play there. I think he was gonna be safe because I think it would have been an incredible play to get him out. But I just thought from the time I saw him take off from second, I'm on here. I was thinking, here comes a collision. Something bad's gonna happen with this.
Mm, okay.
But you're right. I love the aggressiveness. I love
So, yeah, you just go up, you know what I mean? By, what was it? You were up by 2 at that point. So it was 3-1.
It was 3-1.
And he comes around, he tags up. So the run scores to make it 3-1. And now with the out, you're setting yourself up for a sac fly, which didn't happen, but you're trying to set yourself up for that so that you can make a productive out with the next guy if you can get to third. So that was one part of the mindset that I really liked. If the fly ball would have made 2 outs, you don't run there. But since it only made the first out, that's why I'm okay with it, right? And when he comes around, if that ball gets thrown, and I was kind of interested when I was listening to them talk, they were like, he did his job, but like he didn't. The outfielder did not. Like he made a bad throw.
Yeah, it was a terrible throw.
And they're saying, I can't even remember where I heard that, but they're like, what was he even thinking? And I'm like,
well, yeah, John Wayner said that the outfielder did his job. He threw the ball through the cutoff man.
And they didn't cut it off, but like he didn't. It was way off.
It was way off.
So when I'm Cruz, first off, he's fast and he knows it. And I think sometimes, when we're watching a play, we forget that because he doesn't look as fast as he is because he covers so much ground with every step. Everything was right in front of him. The throws past the cutoff man. The cutoff man is away from third base. So what he's asking that third baseman to do is run in the opposite direction of the baseball. See the baseball as it's being thrown to him. Catch a baseball, go to the right spot, make the tag, all while getting a throw from a pitcher who, yes, they throw strikes all the time, but we know they also overthrow first base a lot. And so we know this is a thing. He's probably not going to get a perfect throw. And if he does, they earned it. I like the aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Because I could steal a run right here on a sac fly or a ground out. Unless they move in, which I think they did. But either way, he said, I can beat him there. And I like it. I want you to try to beat him there. You're winning the game, which is when I think the risk is definitely worth it. If you're losing, I'd rather you stay put and see what happens. And he would have scored on the base hit by Santana. However, I really liked the play. It's unfortunate what happened, but like the way I see it is like that's an overthrow. Everything was right in front of him. And even if they would have got him, he made it really close. So to me, that's worth it because exactly what happened is what you think will happen on that play. I always think of that. I'm like, how many times do you round third and you say, make sure they throw it? Because anything can happen when they throw that ball.
Yeah.
Force them to make a great play. And that's what he did. And they weren't able to make, because if they would have got him, it would have been a great play. I think. I don't think it would have been a dumb base running move even then.
Like the other thing that I thought about is like once you've slid into second, that's when I decide not, because you got to completely start over again.
I get that, but also if you pop up slide like that, then you get a straight line to third instead of a rounded line. so you have a shorter distance to go. When I would steal second and I would do the pop-up slide, I would, and they overthrew it to center field, I was gone. Because I always thought, like, if you're a base stealer, which, I mean, you're calling for Cruz to get 30 swipes. If you're a base stealer, that acceleration isn't a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess that doesn't. It's not the same as an overthrow because you're going to slide either way. It's just head first or feet first, right?
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. Let's get into Keller. So I think this is the big one. I wanted to cover those things because I thought those are really important plays, and those are kind of things where a good base running thing, maybe a bad base running thing, but like those things are going to play themselves out as we go.
I do want to just overall, I like the aggressiveness.
Yeah. I think once you think about it for a second, you're like, oh yeah. When something's bizarre, it's in our tendencies to be like, what are you doing? You know,
I like the aggressiveness. I would have been okay if he stayed as well.
Okay. I think we wouldn't even have thought about it, right?
Right.
You did want to say one thing here because you asked me about it and we looked it up. Our first sweep last year wasn't until May 30th to June 1st, which was that one in LA.
Mm-hmm.
So nice to get a sweep this early.
Before our home opener.
Oh, going into the home opener, and then tomorrow they can announce the Reynolds deal. Oh, wait, what? No, okay. I don't know. I'm speculating that the deal's been done since before he hit those 4 home runs.
Yeah.
That's my speculation, but he's been happy. So we talked about Mitch Keller. We talked about him being left in, and we should move through this quickly so we can get to the home opener stuff. But I had a little bit of conversation because we really loved this.
Mm-hmm.
We loved him going with this. Let me read you what Keith Harmon said on Twitter. We and him kind of talked about it, and I just want to recognize, like, we love hearing from you guys and being a part of this. Like, you know, we talk about this all the time. Like, we're a fan podcast, and it's fun. Like, we agree on things so much. It's fun to get another point of view where maybe we can, have something that somebody else might resonate with. Aside from us, like, you know, these things aren't right or wrong. These are just takes, right? So anyway, he says, I'm all in. He's all for leaving pitchers in to complete games, shutouts, perfect games. However, it's only the second game of the year. And while you want to show confidence in your guy, which is our big thing, you also have to worry about his health as well as potential team outcomes. For as much as I think Keller has turned it around, he's never really been in this position before. Opening day is a prime example of how he can be good, but the inexperience in the position he was in showed. You can't expect a guy who rarely has made over 6 innings and 80 plus pitches to go out there and throw 100 plus in a jam effectively. So then he says specifically, today after Arroyo stole second and Tapia singled, he should have been pulled. There was only 1 out needed, and I think a fresh arm. I mean, the Dowry Moretta has been working that whole piece. So that's what he's speaking to. Has the potential to have a better outcome. Granted, the home run turned foul, so it doesn't have to be better, right? But it ended up good, but he's saying that could have easily been a tie game. He said that his only caveat to that was who was technically available to pitch out of the pen. Essentially, that could have changed his mind. So let's ignore the fact that maybe there was guys not available, because I don't think that played here.
I don't either.
I don't think that's a caveat.
No, and I want to say, like, I agree with a lot of what is said here.
Yeah, I think he makes some really good points.
I think there's a lot there, but on the same token of he's never really been in that position before. He's, the inexperience. Okay, well then now's the time we need to get him that experience.
That's it.
This is the year you get him that experience. This is our guy. Like, Derek Shelton basically said during today's game, hey, Mitch, you're our guy. You're our ace. And I'm going to treat you like the ace of the staff. You need to get us through this. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, no, it's getting me fired up a little bit right now because it is kind of a thing. I don't know if Mitch Keller I don't know if his ceiling is actual ace, right? I don't know if
Right.
he's going to find himself in discussions of like, he's a top 15 guy in the game. I don't know that yet.
Right.
What I saw today, I would think so. And
Yeah.
I mean, 7 innings, he only had 7 strikeouts. Not like he's like, oh, he's elite. He had 15 strikeouts. That doesn't necessarily matter here.
Nah, he was efficient all
He
game.
was efficient. He went out and got it. He executed some certain pitches that I was really impressed with and the way that he went about it. And we've seen that. And I saw some people start to say, like, was this the best we've seen from him? And I'm not sure because I'm not great at memories like that. But certainly the best I remember right off the top of my head, right? As far as like
Right.
what you saw and what you watched. I'm sure if you're box score looking, maybe he's had better starts. But
Mhm.
as far as what I saw, I just can't be more impressed with some of the ways that even like from one at bat to the next against the guy. I think Tapia had this long at bat, right? And all that stuff. And then the next time he faced him, it was like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And it was,
Had
oh,
I think it was a 10 pitch at bat, and then the next time he came up, it was three pitches,
3
and
pitches,
he
he
was
was
struck
done.
out.
And so like there's things like that that I really thought, but back to the main point here, Derek Shelton definitely said, I'm giving you a chance here. That
We got this.
confidence goes a long way.
Yeah, yeah,
And he got
for
away with
sure.
one. There's no question
Yeah,
he got away with one.
absolutely.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying like he answered, but he did answer in the end.
Hmm.
Because what happened. However, like he missed. I mean, we're over 100 pitches, so he missed the one. I guess you could say cutter, right? I was saying slider earlier, but apparently he doesn't throw a slider. Let's not get into that. But he missed the pitch that was hit foul. That was not the location you want, but he came right back with a great location, finished the strikeout, and was pumped. And I think he earned a lot, but at the same time, I think that he grew a lot in a way that Shelton said, no, it's yours. And he did the same thing in Cincinnati and it didn't work out. But I think Shelton, by letting, he has to let him pitch here, because if he's going to do that in Cincinnati and it doesn't work, and then he pulls him in this game, that confidence is like, yeah, I failed in Cincinnati and now I'm not going to get it.
Right.
But he's like, no, consistency. I'm really impressed with Shelton on that. He was consistent and it wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. He said, no. I told you last week that this is your ball. And I'm sticking to that. You're going to get this done. I love it.
Yeah, and I loved the first pitch after the foul ball was the first time all night he hit 98.
Okay.
I loved it. And I mean, McGuire fouled it off, and then he got him with the next pitch. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
that was
Just
exciting, man. Like I was home by myself, and I was like, yeah, like I like yell. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it fired me up.
That's awesome. No, I think this was a big moment, and I think it's great. And I do think you make some good points, Keith. And I
Yeah,
know
for
that you're
sure.
not the only one that thinks they should have went to somebody else there. The only thing that I will say that I definitely agree with you with is I was surprised north of 100. Otherwise, he stays in there. I was surprised north of 100 that they were going to let him do that this early on a cold day. So I was a little surprised about that. And maybe his next outing, he says, okay, we're going to limit you a little bit. But I just think when you give a guy that, it's going to go leaps and bounds for his confidence. And I think for the team's confidence, because they know they can trust that now. And I think that's big.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the home opener, because now coming off of this series sweep, dude, it is time. It's time to open the season here in Pittsburgh. And I love the home opener. I love the home opener. This year we got Kutch, his return. It's big time. You got Burnett throwing to Martin. We're going to hear about Donnie Ayers a little bit. The blackout is back.
Yep.
If you haven't heard yet, it's a blackout like the wild card game. I can't be more excited about that. But I tell you, before we talk too much more, we got some friends, and I put it out on Twitter for anybody interested. And there was a couple people who wanted to do it, didn't get a chance to. But we got Pirate Queen Banshee, Gary, Yark, Graves, Buctober, Spencer Buctober, and Seth Johnson. Just some guys on Twitter kind of talking about what the home opener is for them, maybe their story, a little bit about it. And then we'll break it down, but let's check out what all these guys said. I absolutely love this. I had a lot of fun with this, and I hope we can do more of this later, but let's listen to these guys. And if you're on video, there's video of some of them too. So let's talk about opening day.
Ahoy, Josh and Jake, and the entirety of Bucko Nation. Pittsburgh Pirate Queen Banshee, here to gab with you about our most favorite time of the year. For me, and for many Pirates fans, home opener be like Christmas morning. Every year, I shine up me leathers and I lay out me pirate garb the night before this nostalgic day. On the note of nostalgia, when it comes to my most memorable home openers, while we always have fun, win or lose, the ones that stand out in my mind the most are the games where the weather is less than ideal. I love the juxtaposition of a game intended for summer being played while it's 29 degrees and snowing. Some of the best memories are made when you have to get creative to stay warm through those 9 innings. The home opener, 2016. The home opener of 2016. I remember by the 9th inning, I saw 28 degrees. The wind was blowing, so it felt like 23. The beer had worn off by then. I could feel everything. My legs were frozen. They were hurting. It was so cold. Melanson was closing. He had 2 outs, but it was like pulling teeth out after that. I think it was a hit by pitch, and then he gave up the only earned run that game. Thankfully, he got the final out, and the Pirates won. Knock on wood, the weather's not looking too bad. Hopefully it stays that way. So dress appropriately, mateys, and I hope to see ye on Federal. Let's go Bucs.
Hey guys, thanks for asking me to do this. No matter what, as good or bad as the team happens to be, opening day is just special, especially in Pittsburgh. And this year with Koch, man, even my wife wanted to go. So we're super excited, man. And it's always a good time. And it's great to just see everybody all in one place again.
But my most memorable, I would have to say, is the day that park opened. We got down there about 6:30 in the morning. We were the first couple people to walk into Castellanos to see Mike Golick and Mike Greenberg do their show. We were definitely the first at the bar doing shots of Old Granddad at about 7 a.m. Probably not the greatest thing. But after being in all those years and taking the bus down to Three River Stadium and seeing that Astro turf and concrete everywhere, maybe it was the Old Granddad, but when we walked in there and I seen that green grass, I almost had tears. Then we kind of tortured Scott Sauerback and told him he was too pretty to play ball. But hey, let's go Bucs, guys.
Hello there, Pirate fans. This is Voice from the Graves, and I just wanted to stop in and let you all know Friday will be my first ever home opener, and I couldn't be more excited to be there with all of you. We've got a great matchup. We've got the White Sox taking on the Pirates. I look forward to having a great season, and let's go Bucs.
Home opener is always a great time. Me and my dad started the tradition. We tried to go to a Steelers game. We got bad tickets. The guy who sold us the tickets felt so bad, gave us home opener tickets for the following year, and we went every year since. No matter how bad the team is or what the talent level is like, it's always exciting. We love going. The smells, it all hits you. The nostalgia, it's great. My son's now going. It's a great time. Love the home opener.
Opening day is a special day. We get to make our way to PNC Park for the first home game of the year and watch our favorite team play ball. But opening day isn't just about the baseball you're watching on the field. It's about continuing traditions or starting new ones, getting out with family and friends, having a couple hot dogs and a nice cold beer. But this year seems a little more special with Kutch making his return to Pittsburgh for the Pirates. Plus, you have Donnie Iris singing the national anthem, A.J. Burnett throwing out the first pitch to Russell Martin. Can't get much better than that. Let's go Bucs.
Let's go Bucs.
Love it.
That's a lot of fun. So I was trying to like take some notes when I was thinking about some of this. First off, the cold games and the Melanson game and everything. We talked about it a little bit last week, and you said we never opened up with Atlanta. The game where we sat on the Clemente wall was against Atlanta. That's the game where it snowed across the field. It was against Atlanta. It was 2017, and it snowed that year. It also snowed in 2018, the year Moran hit the grand slam. But I was sitting in left field that game. But that one game that we were thinking about, that we were talking about last week, and we were like, I don't know what it was. We ended up saying it must have been St. Louis, but that was the game she was talking about. That was the game the Queen was talking about. So
Okay.
I just happened to look them up, and I was like, I thought it was Atlanta, and you're like, no, and I was like, all right, I just believed you. It actually was, and it was that was an actual opening day too. I think I know 2016, which was the Cardinals game that she was talking about. That was opening day. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the home opener. Because it was like April 7th, so it was probably the home opener. Anyway, man, a lot of cool stuff there, though, and I heard the word nostalgia, a lot of tradition is there, and so we've been doing this now. This will be for my family, this will be our 9th straight year, because Keel's 8 right now, so she'll be 9. And the first one we went to, she was in womb, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this will be 9 straight. Well, I guess not. And like, there's a break in there, right? 2020, no one went. So that doesn't count, right? But you can skip that one. But like, I just hear a lot about the people who continue to go. And then of course, Graves going to her first one, which is exciting too. And that, like, that just, it just kind of shows like all the different places that people are, and whether it's tradition, whether it's, even just watching at home. But, these ones specifically, we were looking for people who were going, right? I definitely, for me, definitely remember cold ones. I remember those ones that were freezing cold, but we've actually been getting into town and staying in a hotel. Well, we did it what year? It was 2019.
I think so.
We stayed,
before.
yeah, something like that. Or no, maybe it was 2021, or maybe last year. I don't know. Either way, we stayed right across the street. And like, to me, that's fun, because then you just wake up, you take your time, and then you just hit Federal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody's there, and it's a good time. You get in you don't have to worry about traffic coming in the morning and stuff like that. Like, you're already there. I really like that. Katie was going to do a video, but she's sick tonight. So she was waiting for tonight for whatever. Like, we didn't have time, dude. When you have 3 kids, you don't have time. But she wanted to do one about it, and that would have been better than hearing me talk about it. But the funny thing is like, tonight, Katie's actually sick, and so Keely, our oldest daughter, she's upset. Like, I said, well, your mom's sick, and she might be throwing up right now. And she's like, what? And she just immediately gets like, I mean, Keely, she starts crying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a surprise. I'm like, hey, it's fine. Like, she's gonna be fine. We already know like what this is. It's going to be here and gone. Hopefully that's what that's what we're assuming. Because it's just this little bug that they've had. And she's like, we're not going to get to go to the game. And I'm like, oh, yeah. But she's very excited. And then it got to the point where she's like, if mom don't go, I'm not going. And I'm like, well, yeah, your dad's still going to go, man. So it kind of like, we don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully that's all it is. And she's fine. I was like, we got a day in between. We're okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I was getting nervous that I wasn't going to be able to make it this year, but
yeah.
we're gonna make the trip. I told her, since we're living so close to Atlanta, would do the Atlanta home opener, and then I was looking at the schedule. I'm like, man, they're back to back days. This is not going to be good for me. And then she's like, hey, why don't we just leave the Braves game as soon as it's over and just drive overnight to Pittsburgh? I'm like, yeah, let's go. Sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is crazy. I mean, luckily they're not on the same day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's super cool. Yeah, that's going to be something that you're going to talk about a lot. The year that you were able to do something like that. Just because that's, how often are you in a situation like that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Where it just works out perfect.
I imagine we'll end up getting to Pittsburgh, mid afternoon.
Yeah.
I think it's about 11 hours ish, 10, 11 hours to drive from Atlanta to Pittsburgh.
Man, that's going to be wild.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be wild. So, blackout, don't come in your white Kutch jersey. I know you want to wear Kutch, but if you don't have a black Kutch jersey,
wear it underneath your black coat.
Yeah. Or just wear black. It's most important to wear black. Kutch has tweeted it out. It's there. It has to be the thing that we do for his return. It just has to be. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, if we come and bring the ruckus like it's 2013, these kids, it's going to mean something to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to show up on Saturday and there's going to be 20,000 people there, maybe even less, right? And it's going to happen. It's the same thing happened in Cincinnati. Packed house on Thursday. They show up Saturday and there's like 10,000 people there. And we know that Pittsburgh goes in for this and then it kind of bleh. I'm going to tell you right now, if you bring the ruckus, it's going to make an impact on some of these young kids to want that back. And the only way to get it back is to win. And I'm telling you, for competitors, for athletes like that, like that's going to become addictive. Like they're going to be like, I need that again.
Yeah.
And I mean, not that they need any more motivation, but when they get it from people who, and this is just human, when you get it from people who you weren't sure that you were going to get it from, I don't know, if you're getting it from people and it's like distinctly like you're rooting for me, you know what I mean? Like it makes an impact on you, whether you think it's going to or not. When people start believing in you, it makes a difference, which is why heckling, is dumb, but we're not going to get into that. We're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. What else do we got here? So we got Rich Hill against Giolito. White Sox are a good team, man. How are they doing? I didn't even look. I meant to look. Go figure. White Sox are currently 3-3. So there you go. I don't even know who they played. But either way, they're a good team. You know what? I know who they played. They played San Francisco, right? Because Jock Peterson hit a line drive so hard that it went through Andrew Vaughn's glove.
What?
He caught the ball like this, and the ball just kept going behind him.
Huh.
Just blew the webbing right out of it. But anyway, I don't know who else they played. But anyway, I know that was a thing. But we'll see Giolito, and I do actually wonder who will go for the 3 games. How do you get to that? Look at me wasting time here. Printable broadcast. It's not on here. I don't see where it's at, but I know we're getting Giolito, who's a really good pitcher. So you got to hope that Rich Hill brings it in order to do this. But I mean, we gotta you got to stick with them, man. They're riding off of that series sweep. Jack Swinsky playing at home again. We've seen the splits. We know he's going to hit one out. If it was that easy, right?
Right.
If it was that easy. Man, I don't think I have. What's that?
They opened up against the Astros.
Okay. Yeah. You got anything else? You got any other stories from I remember the home
really
opener.
bad.
Yeah, home opener. It was opening day. We talked about this last time when Neil Walker hit the walk-off in the 10th to win 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that specifically. We talked about St. Louis. Yeah, all these games, man. Listen, I'm really excited, and I'm at this point where we need to shut this thing down and have a good time, because it is Friday. It is the home opener, and let's get another series dub.
Yeah.
Ride this thing while you're hot.
Yep.
And then go beat the Astros too. They got a little bit of it going on right now. A little bit. We could beat them. I mean, they just lost.
Yeah.
Didn't they just lose a series to the Tigers?
Maybe.
They lost
I
a
don't know if they
game
lost
to
the
the
series.
Tigers.
I know they lost a game.
They lost a game anyway. If the Tigers can beat them, we can beat them for a game. All right, man. It's the home opener. We got the weekend here. Let's get there. We'll talk to Ian's guys again on Monday. Let's go Bucs.
Yeah. Let's go Bucs. Beat them Pale Hose.
Thanks for listening to my dad and Uncle Jake on the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bridge2Buctober. Don't forget to subscribe so you know when new episodes are released. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go Bucs!